Welcome back to the Nerdrotic channel. My name is Gary Beekler. I am live in San Francisco, California, coming to you from nerdrotic.com. And down in San Diego is my good friend and co-host, Dennis Bethalkis. How are you, Dennis?
I'm doing good. I'm still, even though we're going to be covering the last portion of 12 Monkeys season 4, that's what we're here for. And even though I watched it 2 days ago, I'm still kind of reeling from it as well. So that's what we're covering. And I hope all of you have watched it because damn, man, that's all I can say.
My emotions right now, and I'm not saying yours. I mean, this is okay. So we're covering the last few episodes with an emphasis on the finale, hence the title of the video. And I just finished watching the finale 10 minutes ago. So I'm a little verklempt right now. All right, my emotions are real, and this is how I'm gonna cut to the chase, not bury the lead. This is how you end a show. It is so rare they land an ending so well. You and I can talk about the happy ending. All right.
Yeah.
And I think they just tag that on for the American audiences. I think everybody else is going to get the ending we thought we were going to get, the see you soon,
Yeah. And that's how it ends, basically, with her saying the see you soon. And we never, James Cole.
Fiend. You're American pig dogs and your happy endings, blah,
We fell in love and the world ended. Fiend.
Ended. Fiend. God damn, that was good. That was really, really freaking good. It definitely has the Nerdrotic seal of approval, whatever that is, which is, I think, officially don't do the butt stuff or do the butt stuff.
Do the butt stuff.
And which was from our podcast. If you want to check out our podcast for episodes 1 through 6. We recorded it last night, a little late. $1.99 for Movie Finobi. I'm glad most of you enjoyed it. I'll watch someday. Movie Finobi, you really should.
Yeah, it's really worth it. It's very much worth the watch.
It's so rare that we get such a tight story. And when we're feeling, okay, I'll speak for myself. When I'm feeling emotional at the end, it's that emotion for a show is a sense of loss. It's not like I'm happy for these characters.
We forgot before you start. We forgot a little.
Spoilers. I don't have my sign with me. It's still packed in my luggage.
I've got mine here. So spoilers. So if you haven't watched the episodes, we're talking about 7 through 11 here, go and watch it. Or if you just want to listen to us talk, you can do that too. But, you can come back later. This will be a video. So we are going to spoil the shit out of everything. Yep. There you go.
So I will continue.
We already have.
Yes. This portion is not going to be spoilers. It's like why we feel emotion at the end of a great story. Okay. And it's the relationship we develop with these characters. Okay. They become our friends. They become part of our lives. We spend so much time with them. Especially if you're a complete escapist, you really get involved with that character. And when something good ends and it ends well, it's not that you're emotional that Cole and Cassie were together at the end. It's your sense of loss. It's like, I'm never going to experience that again. I'm not going to see these characters again. I can go watch it again, but it's not going to be the same. It's like when you're done reading Harry Potter or at the end of Lord of the Rings, or if Game of Thrones ends well. It's when it's done right, you feel that sense of loss, and that's the sadness. That's the verklemptness. So, and this was really done well. These were fully fledged characters that were given like, okay, a happy ending. What the hell? I think I was really expecting it to end like 12 Monkeys, the movie ends, which is not well, but that's what makes it a great movie. Okay. It's one of my top 10 all-time favorite movies is 12 Monkeys.
Yeah, mine too. I mean, it's a great movie. Terry Gilliam, love Terry Gilliam. So, I mean, yeah, in that they were able to blend this TV show, which was not supposed to have that kind of influence on it. It was supposed to be a time travel show, but it blended the movie 12 Monkeys into it as well and made something good out of it. I mean, just really, really good. It's rare that you actually get something like that.
It's really rare. And when you get a great movie and a great TV series out of it, That's such a win. And my hope is this show does not fall down the memory hole. Like it gets rerun, people watch it again, it gets on Netflix and Hulu, and and they definitely left things open, okay,
Yes.
to where
The red leaf at the end.
that little red leaf at the end said, hey, maybe someday. That's all I took it as. I didn't take it as like, we'll get a TV movie someday. It's probably over, but if enough people talk about it and it stays popular long enough, you never know. Unfortunately, it'll probably be just something remade badly, but that's usually what we get these days. So I would rather just leave it alone unless you're going to bring back the original creators. And Cassie's moving on to Suits. So good luck there. Show I will not be watching, but John loves it. John loves it. A lot of people love Suits. That's
cool. I watched a good up until the last season there, and now that the two main characters are pretty much gone, I don't really have much interest in it anymore. So
yeah, I saw a couple episodes. It was pretty good. I didn't hate it.
She's been in there off and on. I forgot that was her actually. That was in that in the show. To tell you the truth, she plays a completely different person. And that was kind of weird. I didn't think about that of being her in there.
So she's great. I've seen a 12 Monkeys panel at Con, and the show's been on for a while. It has been on for a while. It's been on as long as we've been on. It was one of the first things we podcasted about back in the day.
2013 is when it's been since. Is where it started.
Did it take like a couple years off in between its seasons or something? Or?
Yeah, it had like a year break here and there because of sci-fi.
God, and always hurts a show.
And that's what hurts it. Yeah.
So we started out the second half, and we'll briefly again go over the earlier episodes, and then we'll talk about the finale, and then we will get to you in the chat. We are not ignoring you. Thank you all for joining us. As you know, we are a fully interactive recap, and the seventh episode was probably was starting out to be my least favorite of season 4 until we see the later impact of it, and then kind of moved up in the ranks. To be honest with you, I don't really have anything bad to say about season 4. There is some jumbly plot, and at the end there's a lot of what would you call fan service, but I don't hate fan service. Okay, I just hate it when it's done badly. So as with most things,
if it's done well and it ties things together logically and not just kind of wave of the hand, like, don't look what the other hand's doing, Lost, shall I say?
That's all that was. And Doomcock beautifully described that's kind of what Westworld season 2 was as well. Was a little bit of let's mess with Bernard's memories, so to distract the fact that the story's kind of falling apart. But again, totally fixable. Story for another day. There's other podcasts on that. So episode 7 is called Daughters, and it pretty much tells the story of the daughters of Olivia and the daughter of Jones. And it's Hannah and Marion, who what was her original name? I forgot.
I can't remember.
I can't remember. She was the lab worker.
She went through a couple different names. That's the reason why
she did. And she's Olivia's daughter. And another thing, a great thing about a show like this is you're able to get a background on a villain and it doesn't ruin it.
Emma.
Emma. Thank you. Like Anakin Skywalker, like we get to see young Olivia and see kind of her origin, and it makes her all the more evil. And tragic too. It's a tragic story, but it doesn't make us feel that sorry for her, where she's, and she's still a bit of a monologuing villain, and that's okay. They really did a great job with Olivia. I'm forgetting the actress's name. Sorry. She did a great job. She's creepy. She is definitely creepy.
Mufinobi, thank you again. Buck99. Gary is always forgiven. Our favorite beard.
Oh, jeez. There's so many meanings to that, right?
It was because you almost banned him on Friday. That was the reason why.
Oh, well, that was an accident, though. No, hell no. I would not ban Movie Phenobi. That'd be suicide. Okay.
Allison Down is the name of the actress who plays Olivia.
She is so good. Face for radio and a voice for NPR.
Yeah, that was, oh God, that was so good.
That was
the whole shout out, the radio shout out.
yeah, that was great. So yeah, we basically find out that well first it's kind of a little hoodwink. So we think Marion Jones is Cole's mom, and we're
Yeah.
led to believe that. And we see where she meets Cole's dad and what they go through, and it's like a parallel story. And Hannah's whole mission was to go back to 2009 to connect with with Cole's mom, or what we thought who should mom, but it was something. It was a Jones put her on that mission, and it was a choice. Like she didn't have to do it. But of course she was going to do it, and they meet and they go on the run together, and it's it's pretty good. And the army of the 12 monkeys is after him because and at first we think Marion commits suicide in Titan, but she decides not to. She decides to choose her own life, and she bails out to some other time, and that's where they meet. But the big impact was at the end, or do we even get it at the end of that episode?
We did. We did find out that Hannah is actually James's mother, James Cole's mother. So Jonesy, Dr. Jones, is actually his grandmother.
Is Nana. Yeah. So,
and this all makes sense because if you go back to the first season, and it was briefly explained that the serum that they were using for the tether that makes the splinter process possible was based off of Jones's DNA that she was trying to work from memory. And so the only person it would work on is someone with the similar DNA, which is James Cole. That's the only reason why he is able to time travel.
Yeah, because remember 16 people died in the time machine. And we also got a little scene in Daughters, and we see Aiden come back and has a little chat with Jones. Gives her a pack of smokes. And we don't see, I guess, the complete chat until the very end. But the whole, this show used to be kind of tight. No time travel show is perfect. Okay. But it used to be pretty tight with the whole causality thing that kind of went out the window a little bit. And, that happens with Doctor Who too, as well. That's why they invented the whole fixed point in time thing, so they can mess with causality all they want.
And we also find out that they were always slated to go back and release the virus themselves to start this whole cycle.
Yeah, that was deep and heavy. They were not meant to stop the virus. That was one thing, and this is all leading to a huge revelation later that's pretty horrible. And this way it's really playing into what the movie did. Which is the further you go through, you find out like, oh, this is fucked up. What was it in the movie? We were just discussing this. It's been
so the movie, all they wanted was the original virus so they could make an antidote for it for the future. That's all they wanted.
No intention of changing or saving Cole or, changing the past, which that's why the movie was so great. And just think, if we didn't have 12 Monkeys, we really wouldn't have Brad Pitt. Okay. As a big star. He was just a pretty boy up until that time. And if my memory serves, he was nominated for Best Supporting Actor, or was he just talked about being nominated?
He was talked about. Yeah. He never got nominated. No.
He should have. He was so good in that.
I think right before that, he was actually in True Romance, which, you get to see a little bit, he played the star.
A little bit of it there. But it was 12 Monkeys that really brought him out as somebody. That's what, at least all of my friends were like, dude, the guy can act,
Yeah.
That
was one of my favorite acting jobs of his that he did, that whole and Jennifer Goines takes that mantle. She kind of runs with it, and Mary Ashmead, I did love how Jennifer got crazy again as well. It was so good on so many levels. That whole final plan about taking down Titan by going in and actually using Titan so they end up finding out that James Cole is the reason why everything is gone to shit.
They have to go back. They go back to medieval times, and they go to the castle. And that's funny when Jennifer's back there too, and she's like, and
what clothes are this? The old Navy.
Ye old Navy. Good grain. I like when Deacon throws shade at Tolkien. I thought of you at that point. He's all,
Yeah,
that's some
I was.
Tolkien shit. I slept through some of that. Yeah.
You know what? The first thing I thought, the first thing I yelled at was, "I'm fucking Deacon." That's what it is. I'm
Yeah.
Deacon.
Yeah, I guess I'm Jennifer because I like Tolkien. We get a great Tolkien reference at the end too, which we'll get to. So they find out. So they get they got the Diglok, which is just a key to something else, and that's so the show. It's like oh, we just got a key to it, and they find out. They get to the machine, and they find out. Well, they don't find out quite yet what the machine is for, but they get to it. But before they can, Olivia catches up to him, and Deacon ends up dying his
Beheaded.
final death, which
Yeah.
really sad actually. And he went out like a man and
Yep.
got decapitated by that. No, so the guy we saw at the very beginning of the series, I forgot his name now, was some he was a primary and who denied it basically and became like a zealot, a religious zealot, and started killing other primaries or killing everybody basically. And yeah, it was very what Da Vinci Code with the guy. He was like whipping himself in the
Yes.
back and stuff. And
Well, it's a penance. It's the penance to
yes.
keep. He had cut himself off from the other primaries, so he didn't want to have any more of the visions. And when Olivia shows up as the witness and says, "Hey, I'm the witness. You need to listen to me. You need to tap back into that shit because we need to find them to stop all of this." And he's like, "Okay, sure."
yeah, sure, why not? And and the whole goal of Olivia at this point is like ending time. Okay, so she wants to end time to bring about the Forest of Red, where you can live without you just live in your favorite moment forever, which would get really old.
Yeah.
But Olivia desires that because she's really done nothing in her life. So
she even says, and we're going to jump back and forth
yeah,
through a lot of this stuff. She says to Cassie at one point, she goes, "I envy you. You've lived life. You've loved. I've done none of that." And that's the reason why she's afraid of death. She's afraid of, and that was the other thing that Jonesy had told her was that, you're afraid of death. You're afraid of the nothing. And that's the reason why you want the Red Forest, is just to live in that one perfect moment, which she really doesn't have, to tell you the truth, because she's never really lived, which makes you kind of wonder what her perfect moment was going to be.
Right. I don't know. Yeah, and so Deacon's death in that episode was just to delay things so they can then what Cole comes in, saves everybody, and they were gonna go back and save Deacon and they couldn't. Everything got fried at that point. And also Deacon's, deep before that, Deacon was dying. Like he's got his little nosebleed thing going on. Is what the hell was it again?
He has a syndrome, and where he needs medication for it, and I can't remember what the syndrome. They mentioned it again very briefly, and I forgot what it was. To tell you the truth.
So see, he and Jones like knew they were on their way to death, so they developed a plan together to kind of couple a suicide mission. The only the only thing this show did a lot, I had that, and again, I'm bad with names. So the old English guy who was with Jones, how many times has he said throughout the series, you won't be able to come back home. This will be your last splinter ever.
he's Mr. Downer all the time. He's Mr. Naysay. And the funny thing was, when Jones, sacrificed herself at the end of episode 6 to get brought to Olivia, she becomes the tether, because we know that Titan is going to go back to 1142. And so her tracker actually becomes the tether, so that the group can splinter back to that time, which they weren't going to be able to begin with.
Right.
Olivia just she falls into their plans every single time, which I thought was kind of funny.
It is. And they're mentioning it. I'm briefly going over the Den of Geek review here, and they are right about one thing, is especially the last 4 episodes, they shouldn't even been really separate episodes. I mean, these all flow into each other very well.
Yeah.
And the last 2 was just basically a movie. I mean, and that's why we're going over it. then we got episode 9 is where they got to go back to the airport. We go back to Dallas, and we see the seeds of doubt going into Cassie, and we see the tall man for the last time too.
Yep.
And she, she's starting to get kind of turned, or at least the seed of doubt in her head about the Forest of Red.
She had a talk with the missionary that was Christopher Lloyd's character.
Yep.
And he said, "You're going to see things our way about the Red Forest. You're going to want that. You're going to come around to our way of thinking at some point in time." And he goes, "You just don't know it as of yet." And we see this throughout the episodes, is that she is slowly doesn't want to lose James, because once we find out that he is the causality of all of this stuff, that the reason why the machine was supposed to erase him from history is what it was supposed to do.
Yeah.
And that's what the whole point of the machine, the weapon, if you will, that the primaries have put together in 1142. He was supposed to get into it, and it was supposed to erase him from history, getting rid of that causality and stopping all this stuff from happening. She did not want this to happen because, of course, she's fallen in love with him. He's fallen in love with her. And he doesn't really want it to happen either, but he realizes that for all this shit to stop, for everyone to actually go back to a normal life, if you will, he needs to sacrifice himself, which, it's kind of a big deal. You have one life for 7 billion people.
What scene really brings that home is when Olivia, back a couple episodes back, when Olivia was tapping in to Jones, and then when she finally had it, she was trying to get through her mind and get her to talk, and when she had enough, she just killed her daughter over and over again in front of her, over and over again. And that's pretty much what they've been going through, and it's because of Cole, and it's because Cole was time traveling, and he was the first time traveler. Cole was the demon, and that's when we find out, the whole, there was the whole serpent story. Cole is the demon, and he's the demon that got.
Geez, thank you, John Bellman. $20. So glad to see you guys covering 12 Monkeys. It's a great show. Thank you again. Wow. It's freaking awesome. This is the best show. And I mean, as Gary was saying, having James Cole being the linchpin, which they were kind of getting at that in season 3, that James Cole is the reason for everything happening. And they just kind of cemented it in season 4 and then went forward with it. They basically need to erase him from time. And they find out that the primaries have actually recorded all the times that he's gone through, every time he's gone back into, and they made it into this gigantic computer program.
That was in Jennifer's head.
Yes.
And it was so she wasn't crazy. She was trying to process so much data. And Applecrow asked where the 13th monkey is. The 13th monkey is the one who cooks the books. I mean, Titan was not cheap. Okay.
Yeah.
They had to do a lot of willy-nilly stuff. So that's the 13th monkey. Or you are, Applecrow. You're the 13th monkey. Just don't spank the 13th monkey. Sorry, it was there.
It was low hanging. That's fine.
I'll go on timeout. I'm sorry.
Yeah, and having to make this gigantic sacrifice and having to go back through, and I also love, the fact that the time travel vest is not the MacGuffin that we thought it was going to be. He uses it to go back and do what he needs to do that we've seen throughout the series. And then he goes and grabs Ramses, his friend.
Yeah. They really did some major fan service. But again, the guy who plays Ramsey, I love this guy. And everything, he's one of those guys. Everything he does, he's a great character actor. Hopefully we see more of him. But I dig everything the guy does. He's good.
Yeah, and I love how they go and get his dad's old car, James's dad's old car.
Yep.
Start it up. And they're sitting there in front of Titan. They're getting ready to go in. And let's play some music. And he goes, well, my dad was really big into country music, so I don't know. So they're going through, and it's just country music. And Ram's like, come on, man. I can't go out to shitty music. I need to have something badass. And so the song they end up going on to was the time of our lives.
Yes. I've had the time. Oh, going into the apocalypse to that.
And he starts
not?
laughing and going, you know what? That's perfect. Let's just leave that.
Let's just go. And even if he survives it, so they go in, they jump in, and they get Ramses, and they bring him back right before his death.
Yeah.
And they work it out. They have a conversation. Then they go, well, when we're done, I got to put you back. I got for causality. We need you to go back and do everything. And this happens with more than one person, and it's freaking tragic until, of course, the end. John Bellman, again, thank you for the $20. I wanted to mention that. Thank you very much. And Feisty, what's up?
She's at work right now.
That's a nice headdress, Dennis. I know. Doesn't he look like Medusa? Don't look into my eyes.
Grady Broyles. Kirk Acevedo is the actor who played Ramses.
Thank you. Acevedo.
Love the guy.
Yeah. Love him. Yeah, he needs to be in more stuff.
Yeah. And the whole thing of bringing the gang back together again. I mean, we get old Jennifer coming in. And so remember, they are now back in 2037, not 2043. So this is when they just first started doing the jumps. So while Jonesy is back at the Splinter facility working with James to send him back and everything, all this shit is going down over in Manhattan, which is miles away. So they don't know any of this is going on.
Yep. No, it's crazy.
Yeah. So they've gotten old Jennifer, who is leading the daughters, to bring in a thank you, Grady Broyles, $5. Whoop, 12 Monkeys recap. Yep.
About damn time.
Yeah. And she goes and grabs the 7, which is Deacon's group. And she has to convince Deacon and by doing a paradox with his knife that he gave her after he died in World War II there, or actually the 1142. And of course, blow up his tent by doing this. She goes, I don't have time for this. She goes, I'm too old for this shit. And so she just plops it down on the table next to his. And she goes, what the hell is that? She goes, this is where we run.
This is the time we run, right? Yeah. And he gets convinced. So he's all, whatever, let's go. And that's when we had kind of, the West 7 came in and saved the day. Because it was looking bad at the end. Their little Titan went downhill fast. And we lost the Eeyore, the old English guy. Pretty much everybody. Most of the daughters got killed.
Yep.
And the West 7 had to come in and save their ass. And that's the old Jennifer was running around there, the gypsy lady. And convinced and that's when Deacon comes back, and I was like, Deacon, and I don't care if this makes very little sense right now. I'm okay with it. But then they went back and explained it, and I'm like, oh, I'm good with that.
Actually, it did make sense because later on when Deacon we met in the first season.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And then we don't see him again until like the almost end of the second season. He's okay with both Cole and Ramses at that point. It's like, wait a minute. You wanted to kill them. Why are you okay with them suddenly? That makes sense now because he knows the whole story. And I was like, all right.
The great thing about time travel episodes is you go back and go, okay, so what happened was Deacon tested well with people. They do test screenings and everything, and he tested really well. So they're like, okay, I know he's a villain, but we need to make this guy a good guy now because people love him so much. All right. It happens in comic books all the time. Okay.
Yeah.
And that was a good way to kind of retcon that. I kind of like it.
Yeah, and I love because he's always whistling "Don't You Forget About Me," the old 80s tune.
Yep.
And of course, what's the song that Jennifer plays on the playlist over Titan's subsystems? Don't You Forget About Me. So that was kind of awesome.
WKRP. Oh yeah, and then when the West 7 comes in, old Jennifer comes in and she goes, "I come to you at the turn of the tide," and I was all, yes.
Yeah, and I love young Jennifer's like, "Hello, chicken butt."
I gotta ask Movie Finobi, do you know Baba Yaga? Baba Yaga. It's not good without the music in the background. Baba Yaga. I actually do know Baba Yaga. I'd heard that story before.
Yeah,
I can't remember
John
where.
Wick.
Yeah, John Wick. There you go.
That's what he was called.
Yeah,
because he'd come in and he would
that's
kill
right.
everybody. Yep. Well, the Russians would call him that because he would come in like a ghost and kill everybody,
Right.
and leave just like a ghost again. Yeah, and he killed them all with a fucking pencil too.
Braveheart war paint. Yeah, the daughters had some Braveheart war paint.
Yeah. And I mean, and so we do see at the end there, he has his last smoke. James has his last smoke with Grandma.
Yeah, and okay. This is something I don't think I've ever told my mom. I used to smoke with my Grammy. True story. Towards the end, she'd hated that I smoked when I was a kid. But yeah, towards the end, we'd sneak out when she was in the old folks' home, and I'd bring her cigarettes and stuff. That's the one thing she asked me for. Is like, come on, give me a cigarette, please. She's all, I'm old, I'm dying. It doesn't matter. So me and Grammy would go around the corner and sneak a smoke. She liked Lucky Strikes.
Wow.
Without the filter. She lived to 89. So my nana.
And having Jonesy, die like that, just kind of sitting upright smoking.
Yeah, that was so freaking sad. And then that, and Cole's alone at that point too. And she doesn't even get to finish her cigarette, but she gets to hear him say, because Cole's not over. There's two things they mentioned: that Cole rarely comes up with a plan. Okay, really funny. And he's all, I got a plan, and like Cassie's like, whoa, hold,
what's that look?
The presses.
Yeah,
Cole's
he's like, what's that look for?
Yeah, and then he doesn't show affection very much, except to Cassie. So when him and Jones have always had like this weird relationship, but he's like, you were kind of a mom to me too, and she's literally his grandma, right? Yeah. She cracks a smile and dies. That was very foreign film of that whole thing.
Yeah, it was. And I just love God, there's so much love in this show, man. And just the way it kind of went out. And I don't know, the
climax ending halfway through the in the last episode there was just a lot of battle. A lot of old friends come back. And they defeat the bad guy, and it's actually Cassie and Olivia who are like duking it out at the end.
Yeah,
they split up. She's supposed to get the controls, and they are supposed to blow up the core, right? And they eventually blow up the core, but like everybody's dying, and Cassie, shanks Olivia when she's like monologuing. But Olivia's finally honest with her right before she's about to kill her. She's like, "Listen, at least you've lived, okay? At least you had a life. I didn't. I need this." And she has a knife, of course, and she stabs her, and then doesn't finish the job when she beats the sheriff. She's like, "This is for my son. This is for this." While she's punching her in the face, and then she stops.
Well, yeah, she gets a phone, basically the radio call that we don't have that much time, and so she goes out to go and stop the thing, and that's when Olivia comes out and tries to grab her, and she's gonna kill her. And then we see the time beacons are just kind of going nuts, and they're swinging around, and Cassie sees one swinging towards them. And she pushes Olivia towards it, ducks, and the top half of Olivia's body gets transported through time, which is just
and her legs just fall out with blood squirting out, little blue glowy stuff. That was very nasty. Very nasty.
And we see what happened where that torso came from.
We could shoot ahead. That's the torso from season 1.
Yes.
Right? That's crazy. That was good. I was like, oh, they're not there, because I didn't get it until they flash forwarded to the frozen. But to go back a little bit, Cassie's at the controls, and then she starts having the doubt. She's like, what am I really getting out of this? Let's be selfish. Everybody's allowed a selfish moment. Okay. So she's sitting there going like, well, what's the point? I'm going to lose my boyfriend, and he just proposed to me, for Christ's sake. So my fiance, which was Cole, shitty time to fucking, like, not a good time. Okay.
Well, the way he said it, I mean, he goes,
I know,
it
was beautiful moment. And everything, but
Yeah.
we have just this moment, and I'm all about living in the now. It's part of the program. I'm just saying, dude, could have done it a year earlier or something like that, but it was good. It was very impactful. It was great. And she's like, I am not going to lose my fiance. So fuck this. I'm just going to let the Red Force come. And of course, Olivia gets her in a headlock because she's not fully dead yet. We had to get our, jump scare from the bad guy who's not really dead yet. And there was a countdown clock too. I don't care. Shit works. I was happy with it. And
The one thing the problem I had with that whole scene was they had 5 minutes left on the countdown, right? When they start fighting. And immediately Jennifer is with her, and Jennifer gets knocked out for 5 fucking minutes.
yeah, she was snoozing on the job or something. Yeah, I was wondering where she went. Whatever. And people go, well, it's longer than 5 minutes. Well, you're seeing stuff in parallel time too when you're jumping back and forth, like stuff's happening at the same time, but you're seeing it 2 different times. Got it? Okay, good. And yeah, so she has a doubt.
Literally 5 minutes.
She has a doubt, and then Cole gets his ass up to the top of that building really fast. He's up there in like 2 minutes flat. Of course, the thing, the doorway breaks down, so he can't get through. So he pleads to her, like, "Hey, we just have now, okay? We could go." And then he says the truth. He's like, "We could live in that moment forever, and then we're just going to be in that moment forever. We're going to forget what it's like to be apart, and then get back together. It's just going to get boring, basically." Yeah. She stops the machine. And that's that. And that ends halfway through the episode. So you still a little less than halfway. You still have like 20 minutes of episode going.
Yeah.
And then the long goodbyes start, which were really well done. Okay. Really well done. And you have to send everybody back to their timeline. Their fate is sealed. Mm-hmm. So, Deacon's got to go back and eventually get beheaded. For all this to happen. And they're going to have to act their way through it now because they're aware. They're now at this point aware, which Dennis brought up earlier, makes sense that they, that he liked, Ramses and Ramses, the right, Ramsey and Nicole at the end there, and then they have to say goodbye to Jennifer, and she gives a little bow, and these are emotional scenes, and that's what led up to the old, Cole finally taking off, and when he hits splinters off, he splinters off in all directions, and he gets, he's we're
dispersed.
He gets dispersed throughout time and space. And I kind of thought, are they really going to do it? Because if they're going to end it like the movie, this can't be. It has to be a bittersweet ending. But we were wrong, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, and so the whole thing is, we see that the apocalypse doesn't happen. We see the Deacon brothers open up their bar. And of course, one of their patrons is Jennifer,
yep.
Who is a crazy heiress who bioengineers a unicorn.
A unicorn.
I love it in the news reports. They said, heiress bioengineers unicorn. People ask why.
She's off. That was funny. That was great.
And we see Cassie is a doctor, but she's still, that whole first scene where she had met Cole he's hiding in the back of her car. We see that scene over again. He, of course, is not in the back of the car, and she flashes and realizes that she's missing something. He's there, that he's missing from her life. And so she starts looking for him everywhere. She even goes back to the Emerson Hotel, and the Emerson Hotel where they had their room from the 40s that was bought and paid for is no longer, bought and paid for, of course. And so she ends up finding the house that they had lived in. She ends up buying it, moving out there. And this is where it could have ended. And
I thought it was going to end.
Yeah.
It really ends with the whole "see you soon," which what Ramsey says to Cole right before he gets shot. And
right before he dies. Yeah.
Right before he dies. Yeah. And that's how it ends. It's she's in the house. She can afford it. She's a doctor. She's a very good one. And the house looked nice.
Yeah.
And she just talked about, like, I feel like there's something missing, and I inexplicably every time I look at a sunset, I say see you soon.
Yeah.
And then it goes, then that's it. And I'm like, okay, wow, that was awesome.
And then we have the beach and Cole waking up on the beach, and I'm like, what the fuck? Is he dreaming? Is he dead? What's going on? And sitting there waiting for him is Jennifer. She's like, nope, you're not dead. This is the Florida Keys. And she goes, yeah, Jonesy decided to that you can still kind of screw with that whole timeline thing, and that the universe owed you one.
Yeah, time owes me, and that they had mentioned that before, and it does for sure. except for the part that James Cole kind of fucked it up, but it wasn't his fault.
Yeah.
He just traveled time. He didn't invent it. And yeah, kissy kissy huggy huggy, that's where it ends, and then it backs out, and what is it, somebody just Mako, you're absolutely right, and the end, there was a red leaf. Don't forget that possible plot twist. Absolutely agree that I think the red leaf was there to say maybe someday, we don't know. I mean, if we're on a different network, or chances are we've already got one actor who's on a different show. We're not going to get and it's a damn shame. This show should have been watched by more people. Sci-Fi did it wrong, as it does wrong with every show. I mean, of course we're going to cover Night Flyers, but damn, it's like how many times we got to say this? And thank God The Expanse got saved. And I worry for every show, even the ones we don't cover. I mean, those are jobs and stuff. And I don't know. I mean, like Killjoys, whatever. I don't know. Is Killjoys good? Has anybody seen Killjoys?
I tried watching. I know there's a lot of people that like it. I went through the first.
Ghost from Ant-Man's in it.
Yes, she's the lead in that one.
I'll check it out. Yeah. So let's get to the chat. That was, for one, great ending, great show. Thank you for 4 great seasons. I think it could have been 5 or 6. It's a damn shame, but we got. So at least thanks Sci-Fi for letting them end it right. And now I understand why they plot 3 episodes at a time over 4 weeks. It really did make sense, and it worked for the flow of the show. And well done, guys. Well done. I'm trying to look up the writers' names right now. It's Terry Matalis and Travis Fickett. Sorry if I messed up your last name, guys. Great job. Bravo. I'm going to watch anything else you do from now on. You have sold me on your work forever. That's how good it was.
So M. DeLorean says Americans butchering, and I'm going to butcher it again, the Glock. When you speak German, it's so funny to hear you guys try. Yeah.
What is it supposed to be? Die Glocken or something like that? Or
Die Glocke.
Die Glocken. Die
Glocke. Die Glocke.
My other Grammy spoke fluid German. I didn't understand it.
Yes, sorry, no hablo Germane.
No. All right.
I barely hablo inglés, so
I don't.
Yeah.
My third language, I think muttering and mumbling are my first 2. So
yeah, Mako says if you want to say something in German, you have to yell and look angry. That's the right way to say it.
Okay.
And also you need to sound like you're gonna hawk something up too. So. Sorry for all our German viewers out there. Hi.
Yeah. I got put on a timeout for my bad joke earlier.
Yeah. Movinobi says nope, that was something else. Never mind.
It's all right. Head on up. We got lots of chats to get.
Yeah, that's I'm up as far as I can go there. So Mufinobi says Penn is a legendary, classy lady talker. What are they? Okay, they're talking about different things here.
Talking amongst yourselves.
Yes, I'm scrolling through to find out. Here we go. John Melman says, I cut the cord, so Neurotic and Doomcock are much more deserving of that money than Comcast.
We appreciate it.
Thank you.
We appreciate it. We won't raise our prices. I can promise you that. So.
Yeah. Mako says the shit-fi executive who canceled The Expanse is the 13th monkey.
Yeah. You're right. Yes, 12 monkeys do run Sci-Fi. That's for sure.
And I have to say, that whole scene with Jennifer drinking the red tea and then going in to talk to Olivia in the house.
Oh, yeah.
that made me laugh. She goes, I finally get it. She goes, this symbol is the old Aramaic symbol for 12. She goes, and you mirrored it, so it'd be infinite. But she goes, if you do a little thing like this, add a little hat, add some eyes and some hands, you got Penis Man.
Is that because you're a dick? The show's fun. The show's funny. It has a good time with pretty dark subjects. It's that great balance of not taking itself way too seriously, and still having fun. You think about Walking Dead, and I don't mean to trash on that show. For most of that show has been brilliant. Okay, so I know a lot of people down on it now, but if you look at the vast majority of that show, it has been brilliant. It just lost its way.
Yeah.
They really need to do something drastically different. Like this show did start out as this show expanded. Okay, the last 2 seasons went batshit crazy from compared to the first two seasons. If you watch them, they tried to stay close to the movie, and then then we have Titan and all a giant city that goes like. Maybe that's something Walking Dead should do. Maybe they should do a drastic change like that. And I don't know. It got me thinking of like that show is savable, but I don't know. And I don't want to like, I want to talk about this show, but this show's a good example of like, it started out as one thing and it was able to expand perfectly to me without getting too gonzo nuts and weird. That a lot of shows turn out that way. Lost.
Yeah, Mark Maginot says, looks like I have to catch up, watch until season 2 or 3. Don't know exactly. The shows seem to really jump the shark. And then Grady Broyle says, true, but it was a show loaded with a few too many MacGuffins. Yeah, it's got some MacGuffins in it, but you know what? It works within the storyline. It actually tied it together. It wasn't sloppy.
You know, it saves, and this, it really depends on the person. So not arguing with you at all.
Yeah.
It's all your suspension of disbelief and how much you buy. Good characters and good writing can cover up MacGuffins and countdown clocks and some of the tropes from storytelling. Like Firefly. Firefly was like one of the most basic shows ever put on TV. It was almost procedural. It was procedural. What made it special was the dialogue and the cast. The actual stories weren't that, I'll argue again, the movie was a great plot. That was a great plot. But like the actual shows were like, oh, this is like the old Madam in the West show. And I'm not putting it down in any way, shape, or form. I love that show. It's just that stuff can cover up just basic plot sometimes. And it depends on what kind of a writer you're. It's like that. What's your emphasis? Like I'm more of a people guy. I don't really care what the people are doing. I'll just make it interesting enough. I'll make the people interesting over making the plot interesting. Rarely do we get like Mr. Robot's a good example of making interesting people with an equally interesting plot counterpart as well. And I think this show had just a really good cast and fun writing. And that's why I liked it anyway. I could be wrong.
Yeah, me too. And like M. DeLorean said, the rewatch value of the show is insane. Going to have so much fun watching it with new eyes. Yeah, after knowing what the plot is and seeing how everything ties together, going back to season 1 and rewatching all of this and seeing how it plays out now that you know how everything is. It's kind of like watching Fight Club. For the first time, and then going back and rewatching it, you're like, oh shit, yeah, there's everything in there, as it is. And you see flashes of Brad Pitt within the frames here and there. And it's interesting. It's very interesting.
Fight Club made me want to go back in time and chop in dick pictures. And when I was a projectionist at the La Paloma Theater, I'm like, oh my God, that is the greatest missed opportunity of my life. Damn. The Alpacrow says they built Titan instead of getting a seat at the restaurant at the end of the universe. Milliways, the restaurant at the end of the universe.
Grady Broyle says, can we talk about the makeup director? What the hell was up with Olivia's makeup? I mean, really. I didn't see anything wrong with Olivia's makeup.
She just woke up every morning going, with her
mascara.
Yeah, with her mascara. Okay, so what was going on around her eyes was not makeup. If you actually saw the side of her neck and stuff, she was becoming inhuman. She had like veins popping out, so I think it was supposed to be like part of her condition. Probably not pulled off the best in the world, but
it was supposed to be, because when you see her in the Red Forest, the T visions, she's glowing red. And that was what it was supposed to be. The red that we see glowing are the same affected parts that we see black in the real world.
G'day, Tarka Jedi. How's it going down in Australia? Yeah, I think because she was so the witnesses were unnatural viewers of history. They were doing it through technology and everything, and the primaries can do it without it. So I'm sure it took a toll on her body.
Yeah,
being connected to everything.
Stanley Tweedle says, I also found the Dirty Dancing song funny when they were in the car. Yeah, dude, that just, it made me laugh when they're going through and the thing is that they're taking so much time too. It's like, nope, nope, nope. And I've been in the car doing that. Nope, nope,
Nope.
nope. And
See
then you get to this one song that
that
just makes you laugh.
exactly, and that, ladies and gentlemen, and all others, is how you subvert expectations. Okay, you don't take it to the nth degree. Okay, you just like, I'm gonna expect like a Metallica song, and then we're
Yeah.
gonna get the Dirty Dancing song. Ha, that was funny. Okay, I'm not gonna like, yeah, go Star Wars Last Jedi on you. So like, that's subverting expectations. You do it subtly. Okay, please, people.
Yeah, exactly. Apple Crow says Jennifer needs a cameo in Deadpool.
Ha, she does.
Yeah, man. Jennifer was such a good character, man. And how she ties everything, and it was like she was talking for time as well. You know?
Was Ramses in Saving Private Ryan? I everybody was in that fucking movie, man.
Yeah, he might have been.
Yeah, I'm sure he was. I mean, that and Band of Brothers had every male actor
Yeah.
in the last 20 years in it, I think.
I mean, hell, Saving Private Ryan even has Vin Diesel in it. That's his first movie.
Yep, you're right. My older son and his buddies are all into watching Band of Brothers. They were over here like binging it, I guess,
wow.
while we were gone. No, they weren't having a party. So I'm gone, and my oldest son, like, I don't come back with beer bottles laying anywhere and undies like in the, which I was really kind of hoping to. I'm like, it's such a no. He's like, no, I just hung out with my friends and played games. I'm like, didn't you do anything bad? Like anything? I gotta write a book on my reverse parenting technique. It fucking works, I guess. At least with my kids. They're good. I don't know how they came from me.
Ricky Broyle says, did you check out that line about you have a face for radio and a voice for NPR? Yeah, yes. we had talked about that earlier on. She has a face for radio and a voice for NPR. Right. Olivia the Witness.
First time witness.
First time witness, yeah.
She said WKRP too, which I loved.
Yeah. Philip A. Demick, that was the best part. All the guys ripping on Cole for finally coming up with a plan. Yeah, the whole thing with, he's like, I've got a plan. And then Cassie kind of looks at him weird and he stops because he's just about to say it. He's like, what's that look for? And she starts laughing. She goes, it takes the end of the world for you to actually have a plan all this time. And he kind of looks at her and goes, yeah, come on, we can just get on with it, kind of thing. That was pretty funny.
It is. Plus, because I've gotten that look for myself, but whatever.
And yeah, M. DeLorean, he says, I'm glad the whole end of world-ending stuff was just in the middle. The show is the best in the little moments between characters. Emotional beauty. Yeah. And that we had time to actually, it's kind of funny. You have a show about time and actually put in the time to talk to these characters and give them their goodbyes and give them their final say, which was nice.
Yeah, and the last words of the show were the happily ever now, which is great. It's yeah, somebody did some 12 stepping. I'm just saying. Deacon is legend, Mako. Deacon's my favorite character. Freaking love Deacon. Love everything about it. I want to see that actor in more stuff. He's funny. And
Todd Stashwick, yep.
Honestly, I mean, probably would have been a pretty good Negan, but
he's a big comic book fan, and he is writing the script for Suicide Squad 2.
Damn straight. And I'm gonna watch it now.
Yeah.
I mean, I was gonna watch it before anyway, but it might be good. Sometimes, hey, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon wrote a script supposedly, and won an Academy Award for it. So, actors, yeah, they can write. Sometimes people just have good ideas. They got to get their first chance somewhere.
Mary Ashmead says, love when he wakes up on the beach and Jennifer's there. Yeah, it was kind of funny where he goes, am I dead? She goes, no, you're just in the Keys.
Heaven is the Keys? Okay.
And Battle Marcus 8 says, Otis Redding needs Arms of Mine, the perfect music to reunite James and Cassie. Did they play that?
Which song was it?
Otis Redding's These Arms of Mine?
Yes, they did. They did.
Okay. I must have missed that then. I was kind of intent on what was happening instead of listening to the music.
Yeah, well, I watch everything with closed captions, so they tell you what song's playing.
Bad Bunny says the Expanse is over. Been since I'm weaning myself off Nerdrotic channel, so I'm mainly listening, not commenting, surfing on another tab. Well, sorry to see you go. It happens sometimes.
Who said that?
Bad Bunny.
Bad Bunny. Oh, you're weaning yourself off. Well, we'll be back. We'll be back when TVs start back up. Bad Bunny. Depends on what you like, though. I mean, yeah, this is our slow time of year. Definitely. We're going to probably have less shows on the channel throughout the summer. We're going to be putting more on Patreon. We're going to get experimental on Patreon, but not on the channel. But we are going to be ramping up our premiere thing where we watch the first episode of a show. It doesn't have to be the first season. It could be Killjoys or something, for example, and to see what people like. We only did it once so far this year with The Alienist. We used to do it all the time, so we're going to do that some more. But yeah, sorry. I'm glad you're still listening, Bad Bunny. Glad you're still out there. But the Expanse will be back. We'll be here all year, so come back when we cover a show you like.
Yeah. Pen Farm Girl says, I didn't think it should have a happy ending, but then I was glad it got one.
I was thinking the same thing. I was like, but after I saw the ending, and I'm like, oh God, I'm a mushy old man. I like it.
David Hill says, what came first, the virus or the time travel? My brain hurts. Well, the virus is already created. We know it exists. Yeah. The time travel portion, the virus doesn't get released unless James Cole comes back in time, and he doesn't get created unless the time travel is invented. But since the virus doesn't get released, then time travel doesn't get invented, because we see Katrina and Elliot, her husband, with Hannah in their house, and they're not working on the time travel. They're not working on the Splinter Project because she has no need to go back to that.
Yeah. Oh, also, quick to Bad Bunny. You could come in when we cover the book. We'll be doing book reviews all summer on The Expanse. So if you want to jump in on that, those will be like every 2 weeks, every 3 weeks. It was a Canadian maple leaf, by the way, Bad Bunny. It was. I was thinking Canada is going to save the world at the end. You'll save us all, eh?
Brad Entervold said, ouch, my time travel brain just broke when I explained. Yeah, it's I really like time travel stories, in case you guys can't tell, because of this whole paradox thing. And I like Looper up until the last 15 minutes when it destroys its own rules and then basically goes to shit. So yeah, there's only certain time travel movies that actually work. The original movie 12 Monkeys works very, very well because it's a cyclical chain. And it's just very, very twisted that it's a cyclical chain like that. This show as well works very, very well. Timeless worked very, very well until it got canceled. And it's very few and far in between that you actually get a good time travel story.
Oh, yeah. Most definitely. Usually they're all mired. Well, for one, a good time travel story, you have to have your sci-fi chops. And what I mean is you didn't have to write it, but maybe be a giant fan and have read some other stuff. Yeah, and definitely watch Doctor Who, because Doctor Who makes a lot of time travel mistakes, but points them out. So it's a great reference. And there's other great ones too. Don't get me wrong, Time Machine and all that stuff. The show is very avocado worthy, Mako. For sure. Yeah. Absolutely. Put some avocado in the show. I also got Pen Farm Girl, Mark Vignata, Brad. Sorry, Brad, if I'm going to mess up your last name. Ernvold.
I say Entervold, yeah.
Entervold. And Apple Crow, both they all like Killjoys. So tell you what, we'll cover the premiere of which is July 20th. Ooh, that's gonna be a busy day, but we'll do it. We'll cover the premiere of was it season 3? Season 3?
Season 3, yeah.
Yeah, which means I gotta catch up, but I got time. It's all good. July 20th, by the way, Ancient Aliens. Yes.
Love Pond says nothing is as good as Back to the Future. So, yeah, Back to the Future is great, but it alienated a lot of people with the second installment, just because of the explaining when Doc Brown has to go through and explain the time travel thing, which I thought was hilarious because he does a really good job of explaining it very succinctly and just very simply, and yet people got turned off to it.
Yeah, it's weird. Love Pond, I don't know how old you are, Love Pond. I agree with you, by the way, 100%. Like the best example, as a Doctor Who fan, the best example of time travel is Back to the Future. It's my favorite thing, time travel ever. And Back to the Future 2, which is a movie that I liked when it came out. A lot of people didn't. It was weird. People have come around on it, which I like. They have on a couple movies like Temple of Doom, and Back to the Future. I love Back to the Future 3 too. I know a lot of people are down on. I fucking love that movie. Yeah, a lot of people didn't like 2 for some reason at the time. Okay, things have changed now, but it was a little weird. Like people like were really down on Temple of Doom and and Back to the Future 2.
Yeah, and movie for nobody, yes. Terminator 1, Terminator 2 are good. Terminator 3 actually still ties into it, even though it gets a lot of shit for it, but it does do the time travel well. Where you start getting the weird stuff is Terminator Genisys.
Genisys?
Yeah.
Didn't they spell it wrong or something? Or
it was bad. It was really bad.
The one good thing we got out of Terminator Genisys was that was the one. What's the one with Christian Bale? God, there's so many.
That was Terminator Salvation.
Salvation. No, I was going to say the rant. No, Genisys was the one we had with Khaleesi in it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Salvation wasn't that bad either. Tell you the truth, it actually didn't have to deal with a lot of time. It didn't deal with time travel, which was good. It was set in its own time in the future, and it explained a lot of things, which I thought was okay.
Yep.
It's the only one that doesn't deal with time travel.
Yeah, I mean, 12 Monkeys did what it could. It was not perfect as far as the time travel is concerned, and it had every trope. Like I said, it had a countdown clock, it had a beam of energy going up into the sky, a monologuing bad guy, and I still liked it. Okay.
That's true. It did have all those tropes, didn't it?
Yes, it does. It does. There's I forgot who did the video, but there's a video out there, and it's mainly talking shit about Chris Chibnall's writing in Doctor Who and how he always uses a countdown clock of some sort in every one of his Doctor Who episodes. And if you look back, he does. And then it goes into the whole countdown clock thing. And sometimes I just want to go, listen, smartass. I don't mind countdown clocks. You keep using them. If you use them a little different, there's only so many stories out there, and I don't need everything explained to me. So, and it's also up to me not to click on the goddamn video. I know that. But,
I part of me wanted the countdown clock in this when we see Cassie finally turns it off. They didn't show where it stopped at.
Oh, they probably left it at 0.001 seconds, and they went
2 seconds. It's always 2 seconds.
It's
left
like,
on the clock.
Whatever it was, they're like, let's just not show it. Let's just not.
They did, which I really did want to see. Yeah, I wanted to see the 2 seconds on the clock just for fun. That's all I wanted.
Yes.
Yeah, and I love that Galaxy Quest made that joke as well, because they stopped the timer on the destruction of the ship and it keeps going. Like, what the hell? And then it finally stops 2 seconds, and then Sigourney Weaver says, "Oh, that's right. It always stopped at 2 seconds in the show."
It does. It does. It does.
And I just love that little callback to that.
Tarka Jedi said, ancient aliens. I'll explain it when I cover the show. I don't want to get into it here, but man, that's something I should have. I banged my head against the wall. I'm like, why did I wait so long?
Never put the coin in the jukebox for that one, man. Otherwise, he's just going to keep going.
Oh, God, yes. Susan will be joining me for that one. Susan's my coach. You're welcome, Dennis, but I just...
No. I'm good.
I know you're
You guys go for it.
Yeah. So Tarka Jedi says, ancient aliens, timeless. Farscape, the Expanse books. Yeah, I guess it'll be kind of a busy summer, but we'll see. We'll see. It's not going to be like the last 2 months, guys. That was a lot. We were doing a lot of stuff. That was crazy. I have to make more time. It is a little overwhelming, I have to admit, with my full-time job and my family. And I'm, and like, I can't imagine the guys who blew up to 60,000 subs. And if they had a family and stuff, like how they answered the emails and the messages and stuff. Not complaining. I just had to adjust things. Plus I got a really cool wife, like, who puts up with this shit. So
movie for Nobi. Yeah, that whole Cameron and Miller Terminator that's coming out. Yeah, I know it's continued from T2, but I still don't understand why they're having Schwarzenegger in this one. He's old. Yes, he's 70 now.
But it's
Remember.
Miller. I mean, like it's Miller. I like Miller as a director. I think that guy's a up and coming. I think he's gonna be a thing. Okay, and Cameron behind it. Yeah, I'm torn on that one, Dennis, because there's part of me that fully agrees with you on that one. But
They need to move beyond Schwarzenegger and just go back into the Terminator lore. There's so much stuff. There's a great comic book out there by Joss Whedon. Not Joss Whedon, excuse me, his brother. Jed Whedon, where they go back into that Kyle Reese didn't die, that he was actually abducted by Cyberdyne Systems, and to mine his mind of what happened in the future, like for weapons and things like that. And it's a fucking great series of comics that he did for Dark Horse. Great series. That's what they should be making. You can recast.
You have handled it great. I look forward to walking into your comic shop. Thanks for making such fun content for a nerd like you. Tarka Jedi, you are so welcome, and I look forward to you walking into my comic shop. That'll be awesome. I'd love to see all of you there. We're going to do a grand opening. It's going to be all kinds of fun. Tentative date right now. It's very serious tentative date, which is 12/16/2018, which is the day after my 5-year non-compete ends. So, things are happening behind the scenes on that one, folks. I'm really excited. I'm really, really excited. Yes, it is. It's old. They're asking if this is my comic outpost show. So, yes, we have issues.
Aline, sorry, I'm going to murder your name, says, I must admit that the message of the series leaves me with mixed feelings because it sounds like criticism about religious salvation in general. Maybe I must rewatch it to overcome that intuition. Yeah, I didn't see anything about a criticism of religious salvation at all.
You could get a little bit of that with the whole Red Forest thing, and I get how there is. I mean, well, for one, if you think about the impact of these events, they must have been really alone in the universe, because if some other civilization was out there, there's these little humans messing with time on this little planet Earth, and they're going to wipe everything out. We need to stop them. Or, the religious factor. I could kind of see. I didn't see it that much, but I could understand how you got there. I can.
Yeah, the only religious thing I saw was, excuse me, the witness and people following this person. And Satan almost
cults and stuff.
Yeah, it was kind of like a culty. It was culty more than anything
all
else.
Kinds of crap in there. Yeah. You know what? That Penn Farm Girl, you see me grab. I'm missing my little mic hand. Thanks God, these people notice. They're so good. Penn Farm Girl, yes. My mic hand is in my luggage right now, so I usually it's my handle. He'll be back. It'll be back. He'll be back. Yeah, I named it. I'm very attached to it. No, it'll be back next podcast. Yeah, I was like, oh, I forgot my hand.
Yeah. Dynamic trailer. So how did the original James Cole get created to change the future when there was no virus?
That's one of those things you're really not supposed to think about.
The chicken and the egg. Well, since they were able to since Jones was able to get the Splinter machine up and running, that's the whole thing. Because this time travel machine was invented, it left the door open for Hannah to be created or survive, if you will, because he had gone back and it's this really weird chicken and the egg scenario.
Okay, so when the moment, it's basically time restarted at 2013, and they had to go back and do all those events, like Ramsey's dying, Deacon getting beheaded, everything, to reset the timeline at 2013. At least that's how I got it figured out in my head. Oh, by the way, there it is. It's right there. So it's coming back. I realized it was very close. So there, the hand's back. Hope everybody's happy. Ooh, my stomach's growling. I'm getting hungry.
Maro Lampo, help a brother out. What happened to the botanist? Was he suddenly BFF with Cassie at the airport?
Yeah, well, we found out that he is the son of Christopher Lloyd.
Yes.
That was the reveal there. And yeah, I guess so. I guess I mean he didn't release the virus at the end. He just came in, looked really creepy, and said, "You're gonna pretty much you're doing everything I need to do," and then we don't see him again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny. Movie Fanobi, you're funny. I see your chat there. Yeah, nah.
Apple Crow, when a mommy time machine and a daddy time machine love each other very much. They share a special causality.
Joke of the day. Very good. How is Zaphod Beeblebrox related to Ford Prefect again? An accident with a contraceptive in a time machine, and he's my fourth cousin twice removed, but we share 3 of the same 6 mothers or something like that. I can't remember exactly, but yeah.
Rough Girl says, I got kicked. She was talking to Movie Fanobi. I got kicked out of a bar for singing karaoke with my Bluetooth microphone. I guess it wasn't that kind of club.
Bring your own karaoke. I like that. BYOK. You don't like my fucking singing, man? Fuck you.
You're gonna cut me off. Oh, I'm not cutting. You're not cutting me off. Shit. Yep. I got my own microphone.
Here it is. 12 Monkeys movie. That's funny. We already had that target. I'd watch more. I definitely would watch more. It's sad to say goodbye, but like the show says itself, the reason we have impact in our lives and the reason we love is because the shit ends. So yep. it forces us to enjoy the now more. There is a couple of good stories out there about immortality, right? And how like it's such an empty life. Like it's the worst life that anybody could have. So yeah, they did a great job with the series. Was it perfect? No. And they definitely did. I think they took a year break between 2, and they were served badly by their network yet again. So I promise you guys, I've never asked any question ever at Comic-Con. I've never waited in line to ask the stars question like, when you acted in that scene, like, do you like acting? I mean, like,
I have. I've gone up to that line.
Yeah, I know you have. I know. Well, I'm going to try to find one with a sci-fi exec of some form up there. And I'm going to ask, I like, what the fuck, dude? What is up with your network? Why would you cancel The Expanse? I want to ask that question. Or if you guys, I'm open to like asking some of your questions. If there's a good one, there's a couple people I'm going to hit up. I think I'm going to try to make the Star Trek Discovery writers one.
What the fuck are you thinking?
Yeah, I might do my very first troll thing in my whole life, but it might be kind of worth it. So I don't like to be mean. I'll try to be
Spore Drive. What the fuck?
Yeah, tardigrade. Yeah, were you dropping mushrooms when you wrote this thing? Yeah.
Brad Intervold. Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later.
Yeah, were you trying to subvert our expectations by canceling The Expanse or making something good? Yeah. All right, guys, we're gonna wrap it up.
Did you hear that? A little
over an hour on this. What was that?
Brad Intervold said, "Hey, good looking. We'll be back to pick you up later, Mr. Microphone."
That's right. Oh my God. You're objectifying me, man. All right. I'd like to thank the super chats. Movie Fanobi, $1.99. Movie Fanobi, $1.99. Movie Fanobi, you're so good to us. Yeah. John Bellman is good to us. So glad to see you guys covering 12 Monkeys. Great show. He said, feisty fan who's so feisty. She is so feisty. She's the feistiest. $1.99 and Grady Broyles for $5. Thank you so much. And apologies, Grady. I know you wanted the 12 Monkeys recap. I wish I could have done things differently on this one, but at least we got the last one in. And I hope everybody enjoyed the show. So
yeah,
our next show is going to be Preacher. Now we'll see how long we can stick with Preacher. Quite frankly, doesn't seem like that many people are into the show. So we'll see how that goes. But definitely next week we're going to be hitting Comic-Con hard. Now I want to explain, like, we're going to be doing a ton of Comic-Con live streams to our new subs. Try not to get annoyed. I'm not going to keep all of them up. Okay, they're going to be like some really fun streams. We're going to do them live from the con, and some of them will stay up, some of them won't. But I'll always, like, even if I like pull a podcast for whatever reason, it's on our website. It'll be on our website, nerdrotic.com. So it won't be gone for sure.
And it's not
But
next week, but the week after.
Mako, hopefully I'm going to dress up into something I'm working on plans. Comic-Con's like 2 weeks. Oh, I want to dress you guys up in t-shirts. That's my highest priority. T-shirts and Discord. That's what I'm working on today. So yeah, we'll see you at Preacher 8:15 p.m. Pacific. And then we'll have the Patreon video back up again. I just want to thank our wonderful patrons. You guys are so great to us, and hope you enjoyed your packages. And those of you who have not received them, they're on the way. They're on the way. And you guys are awesome. And thanks again for the super chats. Anything you want to say on the way out there, Dennis?
Rough Girl just asked, did you mail the boxes out yet? But you already answered that. So, so that is pretty much that. And I just want to say, Children of Earth, don't let the door hit your ass on the way out, because the Red Forest is coming back. Maybe. And doors and corners. May the small folks sing songs of your greatness. Good night, everybody. Goodbye, Good night, everyone.
12 Monkeys.
Goodbye,
We'll miss
12
you.
Monkeys.
Great show.